then we can see some type of success. So that's kind of how I started. And I started looking at the kids when they were in the third and fourth grade, obviously, and by the time they got to middle school, they would already know my routine, my philosophy, what I'm expecting from them, and then we just hit the ground running.
Because I'm the eighth grade leader. I was the only 3-year player that started on the team. So I was kind of like the senior guard for everybody. I was kind of like everybody's big brother. If any of the 6th or 7th graders needed to talk, I was always like open for conversation. So that's like kind of what helped my leadership. That game, it was a blowout win, but like I feel like we had that the same intensity we had the Glen Park game. We brought it with the Thomas Johnson game. So um, we just played hard. Played Giants at basketball, and we came out victorious that game.
Just pushing them to their body can't take no more, to where their mind has to take over, right? So I know that basketball entails running. It's not a part in time in basketball where you don't have to run. Coach called timeout, you got to run to the bench, right? Halftime, you got to run to the locker room. To go get in the game, you got to run to the table. So running is something that I really, really push and get in your body, what I say, combat ready.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind,
The bigger you dream.
Hey, the harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
Whoa.
The harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
The harder
you grind, the bigger you dream.
Let's get it, let's go. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got some special guests in the building. Introduce yourself to the people.
Coach Johnson, head coach of John Hanson Montessori School.
My name is Corey Hawkins, class of 2030 combo guard. I go to John Hanson Montessori as well.
How y'all feeling today though?
Great.
Feeling great.
So for the people that don't know the backstory about like this whole entire journey, how y'all got here today, like who wants to speak on that, man?
Let Corey go first.
Okay.
Coach Johnson, man, ever since the 4th grade, he's been, really pouring his heart in the whole program, man. He really brought John Hanson from like a 1-7 school to like 7-2, 7-2, 7-2, and then 10-3 in the past, say maybe 4-5 years, man. Ever since Coach Johnson came to even John Hanson, man. Because I've been in John Hanson my whole life, and the basketball team was not that good, man. My dad almost tried to transfer me out my 6th grade year going in, but Coach Johnson said, "Nah, stay, trust me, I got him," and we stayed, and the rest is history.
So that's a testament to the coach, though. So like,
Yeah.
Coach, for you, like when you stepped in, and you were able to observe and see some things, like what were some things that stuck out to you like early on?
Oh man, with the program or with Corey?
Just overall.
It was. That's a great question because I didn't even plan on coaching. I was a personal trainer at the time, and I was transferring schools as far as my job. John Hanson called me, and then Mr. Keenan was the principal at the time, and he said, "Man, I want you to be the head coach." I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't have any coaching experience. Like I hoop, I play ball, you know what I'm saying? I played growing up, but coaching ain't for me." So he definitely, it sounds cliche, but he definitely said that he saw something in me that he wants me to change this program around. And I thought he was crazy, to be honest with you. In our first game, I accepted the position. In our first game, we lost 53-18. So that bus ride home, I was sitting there like, what does this dude got me into, man? Like, I ain't even want to do this from the beginning. And we went through a lot of hard times. Didn't even have enough jerseys for everybody. We had to put tape on jerseys to make numbers. So when you fast forward time to now, it was a matter of me changing my mindset and saying I can't complain about what we can't get or what we don't have. I got to change the culture here. So that's when I started bringing the kids up. Corey was the first one. He was in the 4th grade, going into the 4th grade, and I brought him in, started working him out with the middle schoolers to get them ready. So by the time he came to 6th grade, I knew that that was going to be a 3-year stretch where we can contend.
That's good. That's good. So you saw something early and you was able to maximize that. And I think that that's definitely dope when it comes to youth development. You know, you seeing something already and it's like, okay, how can we, fine tune the skills or just be able to be present
Right.
and being that. So, coaching, I feel like is a tall task, but for you to build the culture, the community, and everything like that. Like, when did you start seeing like the gains? Was it like year by year? Was it game by game? Or
Yeah, it was after so the first year I was there, COVID happened. So right when the season was over, everybody was sent home. So the following year, I was like, all right, we can be pretty good. I was working some kids out. Cole Scott was a guy who had a chance to really be something great, but he didn't get a chance to play his 8th grade year. So coming back to school, I was working out the 7th graders. And that's when I said, all right, if I work these kids out and I put my imprint on them, then, we can see some type of success. So that's kind of how I started. And I started looking at the kids when they were in the 3rd and 4th grade, obviously, and by the time they got to middle school, they would already know my routine, my philosophy, what I'm expecting from them. And then we just hit the ground running.
for sure. And for you, Corey, like, how did you like feel like over the time with your game and your development? Like, what were you able to see like year after year? Like, as far as like something change for yourself, and then of course like
Well,
the team.
6th grade, most definitely my leadership, man. From 6th grade to 8th grade is two different Corys, man. 6th grade, I'm not gonna lie, I used to crash it on my teammates a lot. I used to get mad at them if like they like drop a pass or like they like get beat on defense or like they like just like do something negative in the game. Like, and I like used to yell at them, and then like Coach Johnson pulled me aside and said, "Nah, Corey, you can't do that, man, cause like you're the face of John Hanson in the next 2 years, and if you do that, that looks bad on me, and like I can't be talking to these high school coaches about you, and you do that, and it's gonna look bad on me and you." So I had to really change my 8th grade year, and put my best foot forward and lead.
For sure. And I'm glad that you sat there and said that, right? Where it's like, okay, there's times where you may not make the best play, you may not make the basket or, a turnover or something like that, but being able to also adapt and adjust as the game goes and as the years fly. So for you to, own in on that and get better over time. So what do you feel like, dramatically changed for you? Like walk me through year one to year two, and then of course,
Year one, year one, I was focused on middle school, but I really wasn't focused like on my work, like on my training. So year one, I think I was playing with Takeover. Yeah, I was playing with Takeover. We was traveling. So, and then year two, my dad took me off the circuit. He just really like locking me in the gym. So every single day after, so my schedule was I would go. I'm before school. I go up to Bach Road Community Center, get shots up, then go to school, and then after school, I Coach Johnson had workouts from like 4:30 to 5:30. Work out with him, and then I go to the base afterwards, and and get my third workout in of the day, and and then over the summer I was in the gym every day, cause like I remember I was watching 7th grade. I think it was Glen Park versus Ernest Justin in the championship of Wise, and I told myself that I wanted to be there like in the for my 8th grade year. And I just really got in the gym, stayed humble, hungry, and really and just changed the whole like my whole blueprint.
And I love how you sat there and said that too. You said 7th grade year, you went to the championship game, and it was Gwen Park versus Ernest Just, and that was a great game. I was there as well. And for you to kind of like vision yourself and already
Yeah.
seeing yourself like, yo, this is where I'm gonna be at next year. Like, it's all on me. This is where I'm gonna be at next year. And then to actually get there, the grind, the commitment. Shout out to your supporting cast for that. Because that's just more so like the discipline, the hard nights, the dedications, the shots. People don't see the work that goes in. I say The light work is easy when the shadow work is done, but you're doing so much shadow work behind the scenes. People that don't know, you're probably taking up to maybe 500 to 1,000 shots a day or whatever the routine may be. But you being consistent day in and day out, that's why the hard work is paying off. So I would say salute to you in doing that and how you were able to do that. And I think that it pays dividends to your coach and how you're buying in. So my question for you, coach, is what makes players kind of like gravitate and like the energy and like being coachable, because I think that's so important in sports, but not only in sports but in life too.
Well, I always say it's not about the coach; it's about the man first. Um, I pride myself on being a good man overall, and because it's John Hanson, it's a K through 8 school, so these kids have known me for like 7 years since I've been there. So it's deeper than basketball. I go to their events outside of school, and I stick with them until when they leave school. So it's a personal relationship that I develop with them. So when we get on the court, they already have their trust, and they have mine. So if I'm getting on them, I'm going to get on them hard. But if they do something right, I'm going to praise them too. I always show love. We joke, we play, whatever. But when it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious.
Right. And being coachable, like being a coachable player, Corey, to you, like what does that kind of like look like for you? Like when somebody's like, yo, you got to be coachable. Like what does that mean for you?
Well, my dad always told me to be a listener first. I like me personally. I like constructive criticism because like I feel like it's not like just trying to like get down on me. It's trying to like help me. Like you feel me? Coach Johnson gave me a lot of constructive criticism my 6th to 7th grade years, trying to help me uh, I'm doing my basketball journey, and yeah, he really pulled into me.
So like and I think from a player standpoint, right, where it's like, okay, um, if you're able to just go out there and execute and do all of the things, I guess like check all of the boxes, right? Like how does that kind of like make you feel, to be, a leader?
Yeah,
Because at first it's like, hey, we're playing the game, and now it's like, okay, now I'm in this leadership role and embracing being a leader. So can you speak to what it took for you to become a leader, and then of course the Corey that we see today?
it took a lot of self reflection. I had to look out. I had to look at myself first before I look at other people. Every game we lost this year. I didn't blame none of my teammates. I took most of the accountability for it. Because I'm the 8th grade leader. I was the only 3-year player that started on the team. So I was kind of like the senior guard for everybody. I was kind of like everybody's big brother. If any of the 6th or 7th graders needed to talk, I was always like open for conversation. So that's like kind of what helped my leadership.
For sure. And then like the drive and the passion, and definitely like the tenacity and the charisma. This year I had the luxury of watching you guys and seeing it, not only regular season but playoffs. So it's like every game I felt like the intensity picked up, or there was just moments, and hey, the game is getting tight. Here comes Corey to close, or here comes the team to rally. And can you talk about the community of the team and just being able to be dialed in and so focused and being an underdog? Because
Yeah, most definitely.
you guys being the underdog, embracing that game after game, not being the high seed, but still looking at it like, hey, look, we play basketball just as well as anybody else. So can you speak to that as well?
Me personally, I don't fear nobody. So it don't matter if you're number 1 ranked in the country or you the best player in Maryland. I don't fear nobody. Once we inside the lines, it's basketball. So that's what I really use. And my intensity in the playoffs, I was talking to myself like, we made it here, so like we're here for a reason. We're not just here because it's no fluke. So and in the locker room, I'm for the Gwen Park game. I could just feel like everybody's energy, like everybody on the team was like, yeah, but we can win it, we can win it. And I was telling myself on the bus ride there, like, yeah, we like let's make history, because John Hanson in the playoffs, that's like if like somebody who hasn't watched middle school basketball in the last 5 years hear John Hanson in the playoffs,
Yeah.
they gonna think I'm crazy.
No, for sure. Like,
right.
and like I
Yeah.
said, from myself, like I said, I mean, I'm from PG County. You know what I'm saying? I graduated from Flowers, and when I thought middle school basketball, I had never seen it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just like, okay, but there's a reason why. And you have to pay attention because it's like you could look at all the other schools or whatever have you, but it's like, now you're here for a reason. Like you sat there and said. And that's round one, and that's the defending champion.
Against
So-
the defending champs.
and
yeah.
and you guys were able to be victorious. So it's like, whoa, okay, you got to slow. You better know now, right? So it's like, yeah.
we
So then
put a
from
lot of
there,
people on
yeah.
notice. Put a lot of people on notice, man. Coach Johnson was telling us before the game, faith over fear. So we walked on the court without no fear. We played John Hanson basketball. We played tough. We played good defense. We stopped the best big on the south side of the conference. My teammate Daryl. He was a really big piece for us that game. Daryl was a first year player going against this six. I think Makai was 6'2", like strong, and Daryl in the last 2 minutes shut him down. He was getting rebounds over and blocking his shot, and that really gave us slight momentum. And then Jamie hit 2 clutch foul shots to Silas Silas to win.
And I love how you highlighted the other teammates, because I feel like that's the thing about team basketball. Sometimes people could just get caught up on the one star or
Yeah.
this thing, that. But the fact that you share that community and where it's like, okay, you know what, I made a play, my other teammate made a play, this other, everybody came together, because you can win on both sides of the court.
Yeah.
Offensively scoring, of course, defensively making the stops, making the blocks or assist or what have you. And then when you look at the team effort collectively, it's like, okay, this was a collective win. So moving on to the next round, right? So now you guys go into round 2 of it. The mentality, is it still the same, or
Yeah,
is it more
same
so,
mentality.
or is it, hey, we got to take it up a notch?
Same mentality. There was some faulty stuff going on with that game. Some players were like too old, but I don't want to talk negative about the player or the situation. But that game, it was a blowout win, but like I feel like we had that the same intensity we had the Glen Park game. We brought it with the Thomas Johnson game. So we just played hard, played Giants at basketball, and we came out victorious that game.
And that game actually surprised me as well, because I was just like, whoa, Thomas Johnson's in the playoffs too?
Yeah,
Because like I said,
Johnson.
if you knew middle school basketball for
Yeah.
like the last 5 years,
Right.
you didn't really hear that name either, right? So it's just like, okay, the fact that you got young, new schools that can come through and play basketball as well, it's a beautiful thing for PG County. I looked at it as a beautiful thing, because it's like, it's not the same old teams, and it's very, very competitive at a high level, regardless of how you view it or not.
Yeah.
And Coach, how would you kind of like look at that as well in that second matchup, or going into it, and you kind of rallying the troops in that sense?
Oh man, I was so locked in, man. I mean, I'm talking about. So we go on Christmas break before the playoffs start, and I'm sending messages out to the guys, just keeping them focused. Telling them to stay in the gym. So once we got back, just to touch on the Glen Park game, I think we walked in there with a sense of confidence that we never had for real. Like, that game is when I said to myself, and shout out to Coach Ty and Coach Dre over there at Glen Park, man. They're doing a hell of a job over there. But that game really said to me that we got a chance to win this thing. And then going into the Thomas Johnson game, I knew we would win. That. I wasn't really afraid of anybody after we won that Glen Park game. That did it for me, because I saw how we won. How we won was a collective unit. Like Corey said, Daryl Harris, he did a great job. Chase McCoy went down with a knee injury. Jamie stepped up, hit some clutch free throws. Corey sealed it with a clutch 3-pointer. And I feel like the coaching staff, we did a great job of game planning on how to kind of shut down their big.
That's a collective effort, and as you guys continue throughout the playoffs. So now it's like, hey, we have Lago. Now we have Lago. Now we got to
Yeah.
get that one as well. So like as you got, and mind you, you guys were the lowest
seed.
the lowest seed,
Third seed, yep.
a number 3 seed doing this, right? So now it's like this, Cinderella story per se. But not only that, it's like I'm the lowest seed and I'm going against the top, because Gwen Park was a number 1 seed, Thomas Johnson number 1 seed, and here you guys are, and people are like, okay, now you're at Largo, now the lights are brighter, and here we are. So going into that, how did you what the mindset? Everything's still the same, or is it like,
Man, same mindset, man. Every time I step on the court, I'm thinking kill. So I'm in kill mode. The first game of the season, it was my 8th grade year, so I had to show out. But as soon as I stepped on the court, I saw red. Like I was, like it was.
He did.
It was. I was on. I was on one. So, every time I step on the court, I think kill. So Leland, they actually beat a team that we lost to in the regular season, Aggie and Aggie is a well coached team.
yeah,
So me personally, I wanted to play Aggie and the Upper Largo because I never beat that Aggie coach. I wanted to beat Aggie. Every school I played against in middle school I beat, but the one team I never beat was Aggie. So I'm giving some shout out to them. But back to the Largo game. The Largo game with the same mentality, faithful with fear. And after the first 2 wins we got, everybody was like more confident. Like everybody knew that we had a chance to win, so we just executed the game plan of winning. So that's mostly what the coaches were telling us, just win.
yeah. I think that's very, very fair. Like regardless of how it looks, like find a way to get the job done.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you have, but what it did was it just brought everybody together. Because I mean, the game was jam packed.
Yeah, staying in the moment.
People was parking across the street or even further down, just trying to get into the gym.
Yeah.
I remember pulling up. I had to pull up an hour early just to make sure I had a parking. So yeah, it was definitely a lot going on. But I think after that, people just knew like, okay, well, hey, see you at Wise at the championship. And it's like, whoa, this is the first time ever a Montessori has played
Yeah,
in a middle school championship.
Montessori. Yeah.
And it's just, it's a big deal. So going into the championship and playing, I'm pretty sure like it was just a surreal moment. So like, how'd you feel?
Walking
how'd you
into
feel?
the championship game, just like looking in the atmosphere, it was over like 5 other people watching that, just a middle school game, man. In my opinion, I feel like the lights were a little too bright for us. But just getting there and the fact that we over like the adversity that we overcame throughout the season, like even though we lost in the championship game, like it's like John Hanson now is like we have a name for ourselves, like schools used to pick John Hanson for their senior night, and and we all know what that means, like we the Bad News Bears of middle school basketball. But now John Hanson is an actual game of like teams gonna have to compete for. So I feel like us making it to the championship like really boosted John Hanson's like not like John Hanson's like confidence as a community. I remember going to the games as a 5th grader, and like it was like maybe 100 people in the in this small gym, and we played. I think Stephen Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
We lost by 30, and like that was like just crazy because like I'm not a loser. I'm like I won made hoops. I'm more of like a winning person. Like I win normally. So losing up Wise, it was like kind of like a heartbreak feeling. But I feel like I left it all on the floor. So
I mean, that's what you did. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what you did. I think a lot of people put a lot of respect on it, and the way that you were able to still manage and deal with how you were well composed, and from that point, shout out to your coach, shout out to the whole entire staff, like, and the team, because, you know, it was a lot of grit that year. It was a lot that you guys overcame. So I mean, you guys are still winners in my eyes, regardless of how the chips fell, because you guys went out there and proved that you guys belong.
Yeah.
And people will look back and be like, dang, you know what? What? They made history, regardless of how it was. And to me, that's the biggest thing. And, coach, to you, I tip my hat off to you for one, rallying these boys, not only playing the game of basketball, but also knowing that they're winners on and off the court. And, literally practicing what you're preaching and instilling the confidence and being with them, because coaching ain't, it's not a part-time job. It's a everyday thing.
Every
and
day.
You're literally with them every single day,
Yes.
on and off the court. Hey, look, what do you need help with? How can I help you? You know what I'm saying? You want these young men to prosper off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And basketball is just that, free time, in a sense where they can just, be themselves, but have a collective goal. So, once again, I salute you for that. And, how were you able to, still maintain that self-care though, brother? Because I think that that's a lot, through it, coaching, maintaining and all of that. So what was the self-care like for you, man?
My self-care was horrible, man. It was horrible, man. I was, that playoff stretch, I think we played 3 games that week, all 3 playoff games in 1 week. I don't think I slept more than 6 hours that entire week.
Wow.
And then like Coach Hogg, Coach Brian, my brother, he's another coach. They will always tell me, like, get some rest. But I'm watching film, watching the game 3 or 4 times, looking for any little thing, that I can find to boost our game plan. But self-care wise, I did a horrible job with that during that stretch.
Well, now that, I encourage you to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
because I feel like, you've done so much. So yeah, definitely, man. Now that you could just, put yourself on D&D or take that time for you, man, because, truly being a pillar, somebody that, the kids look up to, and, laying a blueprint that, people can follow, man, is definitely inspiring, brother.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate
definitely
that.
inspiring. It's definitely inspiring. So what's next, for you, Corey, and how you feel about just, basketball overall, and, the impact that, the community and, your village is behind you. How do you feel about that, man?
I'm happy I just committed to Glen Country School. A good school. I love Coach O'Donnell over there. He's a good guy. And I feel like the next step for me is like going somewhere with this basketball game. I just I want to get a free education at college, so I'm trying to go D1, and hopefully the big 3 letters, and I will always come back to John Hanson no matter how busy my schedule is, man. John Hanson has been with me since forever. John Hanson will always be a part of me. I've been there since I was pre-K 3. So and then Coach Johnson, his number will always be saved in my phone, no matter how popular I get, or like how much money I make. Coach Johnson will always be a part of my circle.
For sure, absolutely. That's love right there, man. I wanna salute you on that, for saying all of that. And it's not trying to go D1. You are going to go D1.
Yes, you
You
will.
know what I'm saying? My thing about it is, like, you got to speak it into existence. I already see it. It's already written. You know what I'm saying? Just keep grinding and keep doing what you do, because like I said, it's a lot of people that, may like the game, but what I can definitely say about you is you love the game.
Yes, indeed.
And what I mean by love the game is you're always trying to find ways to get better. Did I need to set a screen here? Did I need to shoot that shot right there? Or, hey, man, maybe I should not have shot the 3. Maybe it should have been a mid-range. Maybe should I what's the basket or whatever like that. But as you continue to do that and you're open to the criticism, the people that are in your circle, those are the people that are going to want you to win. So
Yeah,
as you
for
continue to do that, continue to elevate and escalate to the next level, man, and keep your village tight, man. The people that surround you, keep them tight, and just keep pouring into yourself and keep finding ways to get better, man. You definitely got my support as well. And what advice would you give to a basketball player that around your age
Mhm.
that wants to excel at the game as well like that? Like, what advice would you give them?
Well, I've been overlooked and counted out my whole life ever since 4th grade. One thing I can say is just stay in the gym, and my good mentor AJ the host gave a good report out. I don't know if y'all saw it, but he said you don't gotta chase these AAU programs. My dad pulled me off the circuit, I think 6th grade year, because he ain't seen no gain in it. Like traveling, spending all this money, and the coach was playing the son over me, and you know, um. He said all we gotta do is just get in the gym for one whole summer. And, it takes one summer to change your direction with this basketball stuff. So I just got in the gym. I stayed humble. I ain't look at all these rankings. Because rankings. One of my good mentors, Coach Lou. With Team Best said, none of these rankings really matter until 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So don't get discouraged if your name is not on this list. If you ain't make this camp, or you ain't make top 28 in the DMV. And another thing is to not be scared of the reclasses. Because it's now part of the game. So it just takes a matter of adjusting. And like taking time out of yourself to at least like get in the gym. And, instead of going to Sky Zone, ask to go to the gym. Instead of like going to urban area, ask to go to the gym. Instead of trying to be outside at these takeovers, go to the gym. So it was just like a big separation piece for me. That's really what helped me.
For sure, man. That's well spoken, man. I gotta sit there and clap that up right there. I do. And the reason being I said that is because what I see with the young people too is like with your dreams and your goals, whatever you want to do, go get it. Right. And you're gonna find those people like once you start taking yourself serious, everybody around you will start taking you serious too. So it's like when you sat there and said that, like, don't go to the urban area, go ahead, work in the gym or whatever like that. It's a time to work and it's a time for play, but if you in grind mode, you in grind mode. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, I salute you and thank you for that, man. So, like I said, man, is there anything that you want to tell the people, man? Is there anything that you want to tell, people, community, anything like that right now, bro?
I will always have. I'm very thankful that PG County is behind me. I feel like, I've been walking around some gyms. Kids been walking, people talking like, "Are you Corey Hawkins?" I'm like, "Yo, chill." Like, and, I used to glaze Cam Ward a little bit, and my dad told me like how you gonna feel when people start treating you like that, and like it really hit me. So yeah, just like and one thing I can say to anybody who like down or like over counter right now, just stay in the gym and keep working.
For sure, man. And it's crazy you said Cam Ward, man. We had Cam Ward on the show too.
Yeah.
And Cam, same thing, man. I told him to keep his head up, and I'm telling you to keep your head up too, man. And as you see, he's doing this thing in Michigan State.
Yeah,
So,
Michigan.
at the same time, man, there's no place like the DMV when it comes to, the athletes, you student first, athlete second, but just having that community behind you, bro. I'm rooting for you, man. Thank you to the coach. Thank you, gentlemen, for just, being a part, man. And like I said, man, y'all just keep grinding hard and dreaming big, man. Y'all keep grinding hard and dreaming big, man.
For sure.
So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, man.
I appreciate you.
We got some special guests in the building. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
Jamie Penn, class of 2030, guard, John Hanson Montessori.
Terrence Hawkins, Coach Hawk, John Hanson Montessori, assistant coach, strength and conditioning side.
Okay, strength and conditioning side. I like that. So how do y'all feel today, man?
Good.
Man, I feel fantastic. I feel great.
That's what's up. So as far as like John Hanson and what, the school, the community means to you, like, can you guys speak to that? Like, as far as like the community and what does that mean to you guys?
Well, I'm a transfer here. Just transferred to John Hanson Montessori last year, 7th grade year. And since I came here, everybody there been like family to me. Grew together so quick. 7th grade year. All my coaches, Coach Johnson, Coach Hawk, it pushed me to be the best of myself. And yeah, just love the community over there.
For sure.
Yeah, man, my son has been at John Hanson since like pre-K 3. So just dealing with John Hanson and being a part of it, it wasn't ever a long term thing for me. I wanted them to get into the Montessori thing, to learn the studying aspect of it, to become like a great student. Once he got that, we were going to transfer. Just so happened, I was dropping my son off in the carpool line, and Coach Johnson approached my car and was like, "Man, can I talk to you about your son?" And I'm thinking he did something wrong. He was like, "Man, I noticed him playing in gym, and the kid can actually play. And is it cool if he start coming to workouts?" And I'm like, "He's in the 4th grade." And he was like, "That doesn't mean anything. I believe that he's going to be our future. So just let him come to workouts." And as I did that and I started to watch what was going on, it took off from there. So John Hanson has definitely been a blessing to me and my family.
For sure. So when we talk about like basketball and like, you know, the love of the game, like how did you find, you know, basketball? Like how did you find basketball and what was that spark for you where you were like, you know,
Well,
I want to play?
before I transferred to John Hanson Montessori, I didn't really have too much love for the game as much as I do now. So since I transferred, like my love for basketball is like more than it was before. Like Coach Johnson made me love basketball. He pushed me a lot, especially to now, cause 7th grade year, I wasn't even that good. Off the bench playing, really wasn't. And then I went to Coach Hawk. Coach Hawk pushed me a lot. After practices, in the morning workouts, after school workouts, a lot. Changed my game. Summer days in the gym every single day. Never stopped. All I wanted to do was get work. Came in 8th grade year, and we made it to the championship.
And I'm glad that you sat there and said like just the whole process, like, you know, from being on the bench, like you weren't discouraged. You kept working, you kept grinding. And around, you know, middle school age, like that can be discouraging too, where it's like, okay, well, hey, I want to start. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. But you just saw the vision and you just listened to the people around you. And it seems like it paid off, you know, big dividends now. So like, were you able to see like changes in your game and your approach and stuff? Or like, what were you able to, you know, see?
Yeah, for sure. It's like when I get to the gym, my mindset is to get better, straight to get better. Conditioning, got my body right for like during the game, so I wouldn't be tired in the game whole time. Getting better, working on my game in the gym all the time, and yeah.
So I guess like your experience there, 7th grade year, and then of course like 8th grade year, like what switch was different from you, like for you, like, you know, 7th to 8th?
It's like once I got there, I wasn't even planning on playing basketball when I got to John Hanson. And coach walked in first day, coach was like, I remember, yeah, I had PE class. We walked in, we did a 1v1. And I 1v1 this kid named John, and I beat him in a 1v1. And then as soon as we got there, it was and we made the tryouts and made the team. And I remember our first workout, conditioning, my conditioning was terrible. I almost passed out on one of these conditioning coach Hawk made us do. So
Blaming me?
and I was like, as soon as I seen that, I was like, if I wanted to play on this team, I knew I was gonna have to work. I was gonna have to be in the gym a lot. So I went to morning workouts with Coach Hawk and Corey. We worked, we conditioned, and I got better over time.
So with the strength and conditioning coach, I think that that's very, very important. So what was your mindset going into that? Because I think that one, you could physically be good, but also like mentally as well. So what was your goal with the strength and the conditioning, you know, for those players?
Exactly what you said. I was more on their mental than I was on their physical. I'm a United States Marine, right? So my mindset and my approach is treating these guys like young Marines. Just pushing them to their body can't take no more, to where their mind has to take over, right? So I know that basketball entails running. It's not a part in time in basketball where you don't have to run. Coach called timeout, you got to run to the bench, right? Halftime, you got to run to the locker room. To go get in the game, you got to run to the table. So running is something that I really, really push and get in your body, what I say, combat ready. When you go on to play a basketball game, that's war. and that's a part of the combat. So I'm gonna push your body until your mind has to take over. And now your mind, I'm gonna condition that as well, because I'm gonna try to break you all the way down to where you gotta figure out, is it my physical or is it my mental? And just thank God for Coach Johnson for pushing me to my limit, because he was like, you coaching with us? And I'm like, nah, I'm just here to pick up Corey. He was like, nah, you coaching with us, right? I'm like, nah, I'm here to pick up Corey. He was like, man, I see what you're doing with the boys. Are you coaching with us? I'm like, no. And then I came to pick him up, and he goes, hey, what size polos do you wear? And I always wear polo, so I'm thinking he about to get me a shirt. I'm like, oh, this is good. He's cool guy. I wear 2X. So I came back the next day to get up Corey. He gave me a coach's shirt, and I'm like, what's this? He's like, yeah, you on the coaching staff. And I was like, am I? So I became the strength and conditioning coach, and I fit my role very well. The first year, our 6th grade year, that's all I did. I was no voice. I was just very quiet. Second year, 7th grade year, I got a little bit more vocal, and I started doing mental exercises with the guys, right? So I did one exercise where I made everybody stand before the team, and I made the whole team break him down and then build him back up. Tell him what he can't do, and then tell him what he can do. So everybody will have a trust level for each other. And it worked. We ended up having the best record in school history at that time, which was 7-2. And we were a game away for going to the playoffs that second year. And then the 8th grade year, mentality-wise, Jamie just said I had Corey and Jamie in the gym, and I would put them two against each other. And just when they was ready to tear each other's head off, I made them play on each other's team. And then I saw how the chemistry happened. And when we got back to school, coming back to school in September, remember that?
Yeah.
Coming back to school in September, they were ready to go. Both of them were ready to take on, and it didn't matter who we played. I knew that those guys were going to perform well and do exactly what they did. So
For sure. And I salute you for that, because it's like you already saw something. You saw the potential already. It's like, okay, let me go ahead and do that. And then it's like when you are in a space like that, and it's like, okay, look, I can do this. I can't do that. But no, it's not yet. And then when you're telling yourself you can't, and then you're proving yourself to yourself that you can do something, then it's the mental. Because if I tell myself every day, I'm going to make this shot. I can make my free throws. I can do this. I can do that. Now, in the game, I can do it. Because guess what? I fed my mind the thought, the idea already. So for you to already know that and install that in them, and then they're just going out and it doesn't even matter the team, it's like, it's just us.
that's it.
That's it. It's just us. We ain't got to worry about the opposition. It's just us. We got to show up. So
And like
yeah.
you said, you followed John Hanson this year. If you really watched us, nobody beat us. Nobody. We lost 2 games, but nobody beat us. Well, we lost 3 games.
Right.
Let me say that, because we did lose in the championship.
Right.
But the games that we lost. We missed foul shots. We turned the ball over. We missed layups. Nobody outplayed us. Nobody. And that's because they were mentally and physically ready. The coaching staff put together the perfect game plan. Coach Johnson, Coach B, Coach Vaughn, they X and O'd it. And they put matchups together. Like I said, I was the mental guy. I was the one to go in there and say, this kid right here, he don't like to be touched. Go in and put your shoulder in his chest. You put your shoulder in his chest, this kid's not going to play anymore. He did that. We did that. We won. We
Yeah.
played well. So
And it's playing to your strengths as well. You know, like I said, it's like you have to play to your strengths. If you know a team, can't do something, or there's not their strong suit or whatever it is, you just run up and down the court and you handle your business. And then you sit there and just do what you got to do. Because if you on your A game, you on your A game. And it shows. So to that point, did the strength and conditioning, like, now that did you see the benefits of it? Because I know sometimes, like, I hate this. Oh, no, I don't like this. Or why I got to do that, or why I got to do this. And now do you kind of like see the benefits of it
Yeah,
now?
because when we were doing all of this strength and we was doing all the conditioning, we was running, I was like, what's the point of all this? And then as we kept on doing it, especially Coach Hawk, if he's seen us not running, he will make us run over and over again until we all start sprinting. So now that I'm here in this position, I see how all the conditioning works out because in the game, I'm never tired.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because guess what? The best ability is availability. So they need you to be available in in those moments. Yo, it's it's a full below game, right? You want to sit there and be the most, like, every single person that has a jersey is the most valuable person, right? The most valuable person because you made the team, right? So you got to be that not only for yourself but the team. So when you're going out there, that's the availability right now. But if they sit there and they see you tired and they see you winded, and they tell you to go on the bench for a second just to come back in, it's because they wanted to make sure that you was available to see that. So how were you able to, now see that and the contributions that you sat there and made? Because, as you go through this season that just passed and you reflect on the games, for making the playoffs, and it's like, whoa, we're in the playoffs. So you guys playing Gwen Park and, you having the game that you had, like, talk about how did that make you feel?
Well, at the start of the season, I didn't play as best as I could. So it was really like Corey was the team for real, for real. So as we went through the season, I had to really think to myself and say, where do I want to be? I want to be playing in the championship game. So I had to push myself harder than I already did, and I had to help Corey out. So as we went through the season, and after we lost to Agakeek and we lost to Gwen, I had a mentality that was like, I'm not losing no more. So as we went through the season, played the best as I could, made the right plays, made shots when they were needed, and made it to the championship.
And, when you made the playoffs and you got to that moment, like, game after game after game, did the mentality change, or did it kind of like remain the same? Like, no, we have to just get here and that's it.
After we made it to the playoffs, every game is like my mentality would like raise. So like when we beat Gwen Park in the first round, I was like, ain't no way we're losing no more games in the playoffs. So I was like, play harder every single game, play harder than I did the game before.
And you making those contributions and things like that, it sounds like you were able to just understand the assignment, go out there and just give what your coaches wanted, but obviously you're building the confidence and just being in these situations and being in these moments. And it sounded like experience was the best teacher for you.
Yeah.
So as you were doing that and, making the contribution, like, as you reflect now on it, it's like, yo, am I way better now? Or like, how do you feel about the game now? Because I know you said you love it, and now you love it. Now, do we take it to the next level, or what do we do now?
Yeah, we take it to the next level for sure. After the season ended, we lost in the championship. It wasn't really like, I wasn't really, I mean, yeah, it was a loss, but like it kind of made me want to play harder, cause like reflecting on that game, it's like I thought we were gonna win, but I didn't want to be that person after the game that we lost. Be like, dang, I really wish I could do this more when we played. So, I mean, we played our hardest. So I mean, we couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have nothing to shake your heads about. You don't, because, like I said, you guys came, you conquered, and you put the county on notice. Like, you put the state on notice. And the reason why I say that is because you guys embraced all that adversity. You embraced being the underdog, and people that counted you out counted you in and had no choice about it, because as the gyms got louder and louder, more people came, you guys didn't fold. You guys didn't. You guys went from one place to another place to another place, then all of a sudden you're at Largo playing in, the semifinal, and then you're at the championship at Wise, where all eyes are on, right? And the lights are bright, but people know about y'all. They know about y'all. The only Montessori to play, they know about y'all. Like, there's nothing to be down about, brother. It's nothing to be down about. You got to keep your head up and keep grinding. And to coach as well, that when you said the strength and conditioning, that stood out to me so much because I feel like there's so many aspects of basketball that people don't even talk about. They look at it like, okay, cool, we could just sit there and play. Got my power forward, my point guard, shooting guard, small forward, all my center, just my players. I'm good. But that strength and conditioning, I commend you for not letting up.
Yes.
And staying with it and being consistent, because I think that's what's really missing in the game. The mentality to see it early, see that potential, and own in on it, because that's what's going to carry them not only through high school, but if they decide to go college and pro.
Yes.
At that age, especially middle school, because you got to be tough. The game has changed now. It's different.
Mhm.
But if you have that mentality to know mentally I can do this and physically I can do it, because first you train the mind. If it's in my mind, I can do anything else.
The mind controls the body.
The mind controls the body. So that's what it is. So, I salute you, Coach, and salute to the staff for being able to buy in on that, man. And shout out to Coach Johnson for, being able to see that in you, man, because he won't go let up. He like, man, look, I see something in you. I don't know what it is, but
He
listen,
did
I'm
not.
gonna keep trying my hand, and come on, brother, just come on,
He
brother.
did not. He pushed the envelope all the way to, what size shirt do you wear? And I'm literally like, oh my man, that's a good brother. He about to buy me some polos. I like polo. And he gave me a coaching polo, and that was the polo. And I was like, okay. And then that was it. I accepted my role. I accepted my part of the team. And I mean, look at us. Like my son said in one interview, look at us now. We up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we up.
So
John Hanson, we are what, historians?
Yeah.
yeah. And what does it mean to be coachable to you, man? Because I think that it's a word that resonates a lot with you brothers, right? So what does it mean to be coachable, for you?
For me, being coachable, of course, listening to your coach. Let's say, listening to your coach to make the right play. You want to be that person. If your coach wants you to do something, do it. You don't want to be that person that's like, I mean, I don't really.
As far as like just basically like listening and
Yeah.
making sure that you listening to understand as opposed to like reply and stuff like that. I got you. And for that, right? And I guess my question for you, Coach, as well, like being coachable and understanding, like what was the biggest takeaways for you working with these guys? Of course, on and off the court. Like, what was the biggest thing or a constant reminder you felt like, okay, every single day I wanted you guys to get this?
Mm-hmm. So my real biggest takeaway was my first year guys, right? Shout out to Daryl Harris and Chase McCoy. Right? They embraced the challenge and they stepped up to the plate. Chase McCoy became probably one of the best shot blockers in the county this year. Daryl probably was the most physical, right? When I got Daryl didn't know nothing about basketball, nothing. And just making him work out with me all summer and understanding the nuances of what we're asking him to do. We're asking him to be a bruiser, be a rebounder, and look for the shooters. And he did that better than anybody else. So being coachable is getting the kids to like you, right? If your kids like you as a coach, they'll do anything for you.
For sure.
Anything
Absolutely.
for you. And Chase and Daryl definitely stepped up. John Newman stepped up big time. He didn't start out a basketball player. He's a baseball guy. But John Newman came in. I worked with him with his jump shot and just trying to get him to focus in on being a jump shooter. He hit some big shots for us this year. So the kids that are the more coachable ones are the ones that really like the coach. If you don't really like the coach and you don't really make a connection with the coach, it's gonna really be hard. So Coaches are not there to be liked. And that's the crazy part. You got to get the kids to like you, but we're not even there to be liked. I don't care if you like me. I got a job for you to do, and I expect you to do it when we ask you to do it.
For sure.
So,
Absolutely. Accountability.
yes.
Your best ability is availability. You got to be available. You got to understand that, and I encourage people to understand that as well, and once again, I think, like I said, it's, it's more than a game. So I salute you on your mentorship as well and being full time with it.
Yes.
Because like I said, it's beyond the game. This is life. You're doing life with these kids.
It caught me
and
off
they were able to
guard.
do that.
It caught me off guard. I'm an older guy with a younger son, right? The kids that have kids my age, my son he's 14, about to be 15. Their parents are literally, I have daughters that are 33 and 35 years old. So they're their age. But I have a son that's 14. So it gave me an opportunity to reconnect with the youth and be around it. And I know that I didn't have that in my life as a man growing up in the DMV. So my mindset behind that was make sure that I give him everything I didn't have and everything he wants.
For sure.
And with that, it led me around some great young men, because he's friends with everybody that comes to my camp and works out with me in the summer. They're all my son's friends. So it made me say that I'm not just his father, but I'm really a big brother, so to speak, to all of these guys who don't have that connection with their fathers or their men in their family. So I have to give it to them the way that I didn't get it. Right. And just being a mentor helped me out with just being around these guys, because they actually help me more than they know.
Wow.
Yeah, more than I'm helping them. I think they helping me more, because it gives me an opportunity to take some of this knowledge, right, some of this mental, and give it to them.
Right.
And by me doing that, oh man, it's a joy.
It's a
to
blessing,
see these
yeah.
guys. Yeah, it's a blessing to see these guys now.
See, that's why we all need each other.
Yeah.
Every generation
Yeah.
needs each other. We can all learn. I'm a millennial myself. I learn from y'all. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we all need each other. The unity in the community is needed. And, it's being who God called you to be. I feel like, it's like, I've always looked at it too. Like, how can I help the youth? How can I help the next generation? Being who I needed when I was younger, but most importantly, being who God called me to be. So that was ordained, man. God just sat there and told you to do it. And
I accept.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So what is some advice that you would give, to a youth, that's playing basketball right now and wants to keep going? Like, what would that advice be?
To never stop pushing yourself to be the best you can.
Great.
That's good. And coach, for you, for anyone, for the kids and just community out there, what advice would you give, to those people?
Be a village. Don't run from your calling like I tried to, right? Everybody can feed and learn off of each other. We just have to learn how to accept each other, right? So I just say be a village, be available, because these young guys, we don't know. Young girls, we don't know who they may be within the next 10 or 15 years. But if we give them a little bit of encouragement and wisdom to be the best authentic them, then I think we can help each other out, right?
For sure. Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. And like I said, you guys made history. It's nothing for y'all to be down and out about, because like I said, people already know the story. You guys have been there. And, salute to the staff, salute to Coach Johnson, salute to you guys, everybody that was a part of it. Like I said, y'all should go back and watch. Y'all should just go back and watch and see. They had a tremendous season. I'm rooting for you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys do on the next level. Y'all got my support here from Grind Hard, Dream Big. And y'all already know, y'all, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
Thank
you
y'all.
as well.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Soundstripe.